Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is definitely going to be very informative for those of you who are going to be in the market soon. As you know, spring is upon us, and you guys know that it's about that time to go make that I would say that that purchase that is definitely not financially responsible. And that purchase is getting a car like this, getting a sports car. There's no way that you can convince anyone really that it is a great financial decision. I think that goes for any car, honestly, especially with the way ride sharing is nowadays, and that you know, there are so many more things, like public transportation, right? Ride sharing, public transportation definitely will save you more money, but this channel is not about that. This is about dumb decisions, which is, as you can see what I have here, my GR86. That is definitely not something that is a smart financial decision, but it's one of the best decisions for me personally, because, you know, it's spring, like I said, and those of us who drive a lot, right? Like those of us who really drive are definitely looking to have some fun when we drive. So with that being said, you are looking at one of the funnest cars to drive, I think, out of any car. I don't even care the price range. I'm thinking like, you know, M2, Integra Type S, Civic Type R, Mazda Miata, of course. This is definitely at the top. And the funny thing is, it's a great thing that comes in a very small package compared to the other cars I just mentioned, other than the Miata, with it being smaller, right? But to me, it's probably one of the best values, although I am going to emphasize that the car that I have, which is the base model 2022 GR86, is not necessarily the best value right now in 2025, just because of depreciation and how many other better trims are out there now in the wild that you can probably get for maybe $1,000 more than a car like this with way less miles. So with that being said, guys, hope you enjoy the video, and let's get to it.
Hello? Are you paying attention? Good.
Well, like I was saying before, you know, the base model, especially 2022 model year, it really didn't age well, just because, you know, for the simple fact that there are a lot more 86s out there now, and a lot of them that are coming with the sports package. And also I failed to mention that you know, the BRZ, man, I mean, remember, I think some people, honestly, they forget, or maybe they just really like the way that the 86 looks, and obviously the heritage that comes with the 86, whatever, right? It's essentially the same car. I think a lot of people overlook the BRZ, and I think I would be doing you a disservice not mentioning the BRZ, just for the simple fact that it's basically the same car, and Subaru is always, speaking of another 86, there's one right there. You know, it's essentially the same car, and he just bought one. Hello, welcome. You know, temp tag and everything like that. So, but oh, wait, no, that's a BRZ. Speaking of the devil, it's right there. And he just got it. Those are temp plates. I actually thought that was an 86, but I wasn't really paying attention. But yeah, so you know, like I was saying, I failed to mention, you know, I would be doing you guys a disservice if I didn't mention the the BRZ because it's essentially mechanically the same car. The only difference is the suspension. And to be honest, Subaru gives really, really good deals on their cars. And I need to mention that you could literally buy the same car, probably cheaper and, you know, brand new, right? So this is one of the main factors that I think that doesn't really it goes unnoticed in my opinion, because for the simple fact that some of these cars now come with better tires. The higher trim levels, they come with better tires, as well as it comes with better tires and better brakes. So for me, with all of these 86s that are now available, are you kidding me? Are you gonna go or what? Are you gonna go or not? Okay, he's not gonna go. But like I said, all of these that are available now, to be honest, it would be stupid for me to say that the base model is the best value unless you get this thing for $25,000 or under, if you're getting it used. Because if you're in the 30s, if you're in the 30K range or a little bit higher than that, if you're not getting the sports package, you're doing yourself a disservice, knowing that you could have gotten way better brakes right out the gate with this car. Now, you know, for me, I would say the shortcoming of this car is indeed the brakes. And for those of you who are getting into this car, you're probably an enthusiast and you're probably looking for a car that does all the little crazy sports car stuff that you want and that you desire. And I can tell you from experience that this car in its base form, the one major flaw about this car is the brakes. They're built for the street. They do the job. They definitely do the job. They'll get you from point A to B just fine. But we're not getting this car for just point A to point B. We're trying to get this car to do a whole lot of other things, you know, like enthusiastic driving, performance driving, track driving. So why not just stretch your dollar as far as you can, right? And go get the premium trim, go get the limited BRZ. I think that's the limited, or is that the base? Their wording is different, but you know which one I mean. The sports package one, the TS that they have now. You know, or just get the package upgrade. I think it's like a $1,500 upgrade. That will probably be the best value that you can get. You know, other than, like I said, the base model is starting to age like milk, because there are so many packages out there. There are so many trim levels out there now that are that offer better creature comforts, like heated seats and, you know, bigger brakes. There's another 86. No, that's a BRZ. Wow. Okay. Shout out to the BRZ. But like I said, it's definitely better creature comforts that you would want, especially again if this is your daily driver, end all be all vehicle. To me, having a premium trim is a way better value than having this, because you get the heated seats and stuff like that, and obviously bigger brakes with the sports package. And if you're getting that around like $30,000, $33,000, I would say it's worth it, especially if it's brand new or with like 1,000 miles on it, you know, practically brand new, barely broken in. Because, you know, again, it's a whole different car. When this car can actually brake really well, it's a whole different experience. And you just gotta, it's hard for me to explain to you how different having really good brakes on a performance car is, but it's just way different, especially on a light car like this. Just having that extra, you know, that extra bite pressure, that extra clamp down on those rotors, you know, it's just, it's a night and day difference. It definitely separates from what this base model is in its raw, you know, street brakes, you know, OEM state. You definitely need that brake upgrade. It's again, night and day difference, especially again if you're planning on going to the track, you know, and all you need to do is get pads and fluid. Why not get the bigger brakes? You know, it's way better stopping power. So honestly, I couldn't, in 2025, I really can't recommend the base level unless you were getting it for 25,000 or below. I can't recommend it anymore. I would say nowadays, go with premium or up if you're going for 86, but again, don't sleep on the BRZ. Roll over to, like, take your time, because again, this spring you probably got a little bit of money you could spend, for those of you who are around my age, or you know, who make a decent income and you're in the market for, you know, a nice little fun car. Do the homework, and also be willing to fly for these things. A lot of people think that you only are limited to your local area. I would say look outside of your local area and just make sure you do your homework on these cars, because you might find a really good deal 200 or 300 miles out, and buying a $150, $200 one-way ticket on a weekend to go pick up your car is definitely worth it. Especially, again, if this is the car that you really want to purchase and you really kind of you really want your dollars to stretch, look for the best deal and not for the closest deal. And I think you would be satisfied, a little bit more satisfied with your purchase than finding the closest one and just having a buddy drive you or your wife drive you to go, you know, pick up the car and stuff. I would rather fly, get the car, especially if it's at dream car territory. Just fly to go get that thing, and especially if you got a great deal on it, it's a no-brainer for me. But again, I would encourage you to travel for that car. Because this car, you know, offers a lot more than what you see on the surface. It's naturally aspirated, it's an FR. It has the holy trinity of what a sports car is, and it gives you that old school feeling of, you know, traditional sports car enthusiasm. It's not boosted, and again, I wouldn't recommend necessarily boosting the car. You probably will if you get it, but you shouldn't. I don't think you should, or you have to. This car is plenty fast, and it offers everything that you need plus more, as long as you can kind of get the functional mods. I would say would probably trump over boosting mods or power mods. If you can get the brakes and fluid, I think you'll be fine with this car, and some tires. That's it. You know, get some PS4S's, and this car is perfect the way it is. And so, like I said, pads and fluid. You know, base model, like I said, if it's 25,000, that's fine. 25,000 is fine. But anything more than that, 27, 28, go get a premium trim. Don't get this. Just get something, you know, a little newer, something maybe brand new. Again, if you're trying to go in the $30,000 range, 31,000, you might as well go new. That's just where these cars are right now. Now that you're committed to this car at this point, I'll go into what you're getting, right? I'm gonna just kind of dive into what you're gonna get for the money. You're probably gonna get, hands down, one of the best sports cars on the block, and that is compared to, I'm talking about G87 M2s, I'm talking about GR Supras, Mazda Miatas. I'm talking about some of the greatest sports cars of the modern era. If you want that S chassis with the warranty, this is going to be the car. I think this car is going to age really, really well, just due to the characteristics of the car. You know, it's traditional, it's Granted, it has a digital gauge, but it's very analog. So again, once you kind of get this car, and if this is your first sports car, you will be very satisfied with the way that this car is. Now, with that being said, if this is your first sports car, know that sports cars are not economy cars. They're not built for luxury. They're not built for every little comfort that you would have. Now, granted, if you get a premium trim or a limited trim of this vehicle, of either the 86 or the BRZ, you're definitely going to get that blind spot monitoring. You're going to get the emergency braking system that eyesight that Subaru offers or Toyota offers. You're going to get that. I don't have any of those, and I actually prefer not having them, just due to my personal experience with those systems. I do like blind spot monitoring, but I don't, you know, if you set your mirrors up correctly, you really don't need blind spot monitoring that much. And I grew up without it, so I really don't care if I have it or not. But if you're looking for all those features, obviously you go up a trim anyway. But like I said, if this is your first sports car, be careful, because now there are going to be things that you're used to, and there are going to be things that you're not used to. And this car is loud. You're going to hear the tires on the road. It has a lot of road noise. But again, you kind of get used to that with the sports car. You know, with me having the experience that I have, and obviously growing up in the 90s, cars were always loud. Like, cars were cheap, you know, anyway. But this car is not going to offer any type of sound deadening for you. You're definitely going to hear the transmission when you're engaging in the gear, which to me, I think adds to the character of the car. It's a lot of plastics in here. I wouldn't say it's cheaply made, but it's made on a budget for sure, right? You don't have the best sound system in here. I don't care which trim level you get, you're not gonna have the best creature comforts as far as sound deadening, speakers, you know, overall experience as far as those luxury items, quote unquote, that people like to get when they shop for cars. You're not getting it for that. But what it offers in a premium fashion is the handling, the responsiveness that you get in sport mode. The fun factor is through the roof in this car. To be honest with you, it's probably one of the funnest cars, if not, you know, tied for first with the Miata, especially for the price that you're getting it for. Now, I would say, and it's probably one of the most overused words in the car industry, but I would honestly say this punches way above its weight class. It's definitely faster than you think. A lot of people will say, oh, 220 horsepower is not fast. But for those people who are saying that, they really don't know cars, because this car, granted, it is a 220 horsepower car, but driving, there is something to be said of driving a slow car fast, and this car is definitely faster than what the numbers say, to be honest with you. And I think that a lot of people nowadays get overwhelmed by just a pure numbers thing. You know, to most people now, 300 horsepower isn't really that much, and I think it's plenty, especially for those of you who don't even plan on going to the track or doing anything performance oriented. This car is plenty fast. You know, I can demonstrate that I could weave through enough traffic that you will be just fine in this car. So I'll show you. It's quick, you know. You can do anything you need to accomplish in this car, you can get it. For this to be 220 horsepower, it's plenty for you. There's a GT to my right. I can keep up with him no problem if I need to. I can keep up with regular traffic. You're not slowed. This car doesn't make you feel like you're left behind, and it doesn't feel like that you're wanting for more. Now, you know, I would tell you from experience with this car, I've had this car for 3 years now. I thought about boosting it, but I never thought about boosting it for the fact that it was lacking power. I thought about boosting it mainly for the YouTube algorithm. And to be honest, I changed my mind, one, mainly because I had another car that was already turbocharged, and two, this car, the responsiveness of an NA is unmatched. I don't care what kind of car you have, as far as, you know, turbocharged, supercharged, whatever. An NA is just the way to go, man. I think that the formula here is perfect, and I think you're getting a hell of a package, especially for $35,000 and under. And again, you know, I know this video is going on a little bit longer than I expected, but I'm just trying to give you guys the information that you would need before you buy this car, before you commit to a car like this. But I will also say, on the other end of it, this is probably one of the best cars you will ever buy in your whole life. And that's saying a mouthful, but it's the honest truth. It's not a C8 Corvette, it's not a G87 M2, it's not a F87 M2. You know, it's not any of those. But I guarantee you that you will have just as much fun in this car as you would in any other one of those cars. And I definitely will stand by that. If you are in the market for one of these types of vehicles that you don't necessarily want to break the bank, this is a no-brainer. And congratulations, if you already pulled the trigger on it, you have a hell of a fucking car. And sorry for cursing, but to be honest with you, this car is probably, if this car was $45,000, it would still be worth it. Now, hey, Toyota, Subaru, don't do that shit, okay? Please don't do that. I don't care how much that the, you know, cost of living increases. Do not go up to 40,000 on this car. Please don't. Keep it at 30, because I want more people to experience what a real sports car is. And this is the essence of a real sports car. One of the best, if not the best, especially for the value that you get. It's a learner's car. You can learn. If you're learning manual, this is the perfect car to learn it in. It teaches you how to drive. It teaches you how to respond to its inputs, every input that you have. It teaches you how to be in sync with the car rather than just sitting in a seat and just steering. You don't necessarily, if you understand what a sports car really is, this steering wheel is second to what those pedals do. And once you figure that out, you will understand the true value of a sports car and why you get one. And, you know, in hindsight, it's still definitely not a financially responsible purchase, but you would definitely sleep well at night knowing that your cheeks are hurting from smiling so much when you take this thing where it really belongs, and that's in the canyons or on the track, you know, on the back roads, and you're just pushing the car to its limit. And being able to reach that limit says a lot about this car as well. So with that being said, guys, I know this video is a bit long, and if you stayed to the end, I appreciate you. But I just had to explain, before you buy this car, or if you're thinking about buying a car like this, what it offers and what value you can get. And again, unless you're getting like I said, unless you're getting a base model for 25 or under, I wouldn't get it. Just go for a higher trim, get those heated seats, get the more comfortable Alcantara seats, and I think you'll be good. But like, comment, and subscribe if you like the video. And for, like I said, for those of you who stayed to the end, I appreciate it. I just want you guys to be educated, and it would be stupid for me to recommend something that isn't really aging that well, even though I've gotten it when I got mine. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.